Hi, everyone. My name is Chris Sinke. I'm the Chief Business Officer of Bittrex Global, and I am the host of our video AMA today. We are featuring Vesper Finance, which we're really excited about. Thank you for joining. And our guest is Jordan Kruger. She is the co-founder of Vesper Finance. So, first and foremost, thank you for joining today, Jordan. We're excited to chat, and I think our community is really excited to hear this. And we're excited about our partnership with you guys. And I think we'd love to learn more about VSP, the token, and what your team is up to.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Chris. Really excited to be here and to talk more about Vesper and share more with the Bittrex global community.
Fantastic. So when we do these AMAs, we source the questions from the Bittrex global and crypto communities. So we've captured a lot of feedback, a lot of questions. We've picked the ones that we think are going to be best for this format. And so I'm going to come out of pretending like I know nothing about the project, and I'll ask a bunch of questions, and we might go off topic from the questions that are asked if I'm getting really curious about something. Um, but I'm excited. So let's kick it off. I'd love to learn more about Vesper Finance and how the VSP token originated. So, can you talk a little bit about, from your experience, how it started, your team's background, and some insight on your journey, excuse me, leading up to where you are today?
Sure. So Vesper is a DeFi super app, and really the genesis of Vesper comes from really trying to make DeFi simple and approachable for users. Our team has a wealth of knowledge and expertise. I started my crypto journey in 2012 when I was in grad school studying bioinformatics at Georgetown University. I then joined Block in 2016, and I led a number of the enterprise projects that Block had, and then found myself in DeFi in 2018 when we launched our first DeFi project, Metronome, and that really gave me a lot of insight into the space and the early days of DeFi. My co-founder, Jeff Garzik, has probably more experience than just about anybody in crypto. He was one of the very first Bitcoin core developers. He was also at Red Hat for over 10 years. And so he has kind of this intersection of two of the major open source projects that really truly makes Jeff a tech genius. And this really led us to um, see an opportunity with DeFi and crypto for building something that is and taking a professional approach to making DeFi something that really can be more accessible to users. The users that prior to were kind of on the sidelines in DeFi because they didn't know necessarily how to put those DeFi Lego bricks together. Or it was, if you remember back in 2020, when people were starting to yield farm and they were really wanting to get into DeFi, it took a lot of time and it took a lot of knowledge and research to figure out how to start participating. And with Vesper, we saw this as a way to make it so that users could participate in a super simple, super safe way. And this led us to the first Vesper set of products that launched in February of 2020 or 2021, sorry, this year, which is Vesper Grow. And Vesper Grow is essentially a meta aggregator that users can come, they can deposit their crypto and earn interest passively. So they deposit ETH, USDC, and they will earn interest and in that crypto, and they don't really have to think about it. Vesper handles everything on the back end, switching strategies to find the best yield. And this is something that we really wanted to make a very professional experience as far as the way that we roll out new product strategies, going through a very rigorous standard that is very similar to what you see in other technologies, and you see this in Amazon, Google, and whatnot. And so this is the first product that we launched. And then our second product, Vesper Earn, is now in beta, and we launched that this week to beta. And instead of deposit your crypto and earn interest in that crypto, you deposit your crypto and you earn interest in another crypto. And so this is the product that we or the platform. And along with that, there is a governance token, VSP, that is strongly tied to how the new updates to the platform and how users can participate in a much more meaningful way.
That's very interesting and very exciting that you've got the idea and the know-how to go out and make DeFi easier for everyone. I think you're absolutely right. The yield farming, new entrance into DeFi, it couldn't be more complicated and more difficult to use. And so to learn that you've been in this since 2012, it's amazing. I got in 2016. I bought my first Bitcoin in 2014, and I sold it a few months later. I actually lost money. So to see this coming is quite incredible. It sounds like your team is unbelievably experienced. I'm gonna have to go see if I can try out Vesper Earn, this new beta product that you guys have launched. Um,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit more about the VSP token. I think that's where we're really interested in diving a little bit deeper.
Hmm.
So we can talk a little bit about the tokenomics, the allocation, how exactly people can earn VSP tokens. It's a governance token, which we've got a lot of familiarity with, but um, how exactly is it used in the platform, and, uh, and how do we go about getting it, earning it from a
Sure.
utility?
So yeah, so as I mentioned, it's a governance token, and the way that users can participate in the governance is VSP holders can deposit their VSP in the governance pool, in the VVSP governance pool, and this will allow users to then participate in voting, or also they can then start to engage in proposals and whatnot. And this is everything from new pools that may be added, or protocol updates. All of this is going to be voted on by the VSP holders who have deposited in this pool. Users can also, the VVSP depositors will be able to earn a share of recurring revenue from the platform fees. So we have a revenue model where 95% of the recurring revenue goes to the VVSP depositors. And so this is a way for users um, to continue to participate and engage and earn. But we also, in the grow pools, there is VSP that is going to be earned, and users that have been in there will see that not only are they earning the interest in the crypto, they are also earning the VSP rewards. There are 10 million VSP that have been minted, and approximately 65% of that has been allocated for the community.
Okay, fantastic. So we've got background on how to earn it and what it can do from a utility perspective. And you've got two products, Vesper Grow and Vesper Earn. Just trying to think through the summary of where we're at so far. And so that's really interesting in terms of what separates you from other DeFi ecosystems, what would you say it is? Is it really on the user experience, the making it accessible to the masses, or how would you position yourself?
Yeah, I definitely think that we offer a simple way for users to participate, but also the way that we approach all of our products. We go through very rigorous testing, auditing, beta testing before anything ever reaches production. And so this path for a release schedule has made it a more um, professional approach in my mind, at least. And this is something that has really attracted the more uh, institutional crowd, as well as the consumer who really wants to take a uh, wants to have the assurance that the platform has done their due diligence. And this is something that we are very proud of. Everything that we that goes to production has had at least 2 audits. And this is something that we are not going to change. It is very important to us that everything is going to go through this rigorous testing and production process.
Yeah, great. I think we've got a couple of questions, or at least one question later from the community on those audits and the security. So I'm really curious to
Mhm.
dive in there in a minute. But in terms of traditional finance and DeFi and the the preference amongst the community, or CFI, if you will, like how is Vesper bridging the gap between traditional finance and DeFi? Would you say?
Yeah, and I love this question because as I think that this is framed correctly. So often I hear other people in the space who want to make it a competition between traditional finance and DeFi, but I don't think that we can do that because DeFi, in my mind, offers so much more than traditional finance ever could. And traditional finance is recognizing that. And they are wanting to participate for the first time ever in crypto. They are wanting to figure out a way that they can start to engage in crypto and be a part of this wonderful revolution and uh, be doing something. And it's all because of DeFi, and it's all because of the potential of DeFi. So we are definitely wanting to build those bridges. And I think that the way that we are looking at it is we recognize that the first step to for a lot of people to be able to participate in DeFi is probably not going to be the way that you or I would participate, where it's, hey, go create a wallet and then jump in and start managing that wallet. It's going to feel more similar to traditional finance experience. And so we're going to see more of these hedge funds that are going to take the role of managing and participating. And so at Vesper, we have started to um, engage, and the Vesper DAO has formed partnerships with more of the traditional hedge funds that are going to be that first bridge, that first entry point, where they are going to be um, actively engaged in investing in DeFi and specifically Vesper. And this to me is really exciting because it is a bridge and it is going to be people's first step and first kind of jump off point to DeFi and crypto.
That's a good segue into a question a little bit further down my list that I want to jump to and then come back to a different one, which is in terms of security. And it's obviously critical for a platform like yours uh, to make sure that this is a sound way to participate in DeFi from start to finish, especially with all the issues that are out there. And I know our research that you've gone through 2 rounds of independent audits with CoinSpect and Certic. We're very familiar with Certic as well. I'd love to understand what the process entails from a security perspective. And I think for a lot of our users out there who are not familiar with DeFi platforms per se, like how does the deposit process work? Where are those coins held in custody, on chain, custodial, non-custodial, and what does that sort of user experience upfront look like to bring money in and out of the platform?
Sure. So I will start with the first part of that question. And all of our code has gone through at least 2 rounds of auditing. And there are a couple other auditors that we do use. You can see all of our audit reports. They are published on our GitHub. And so we make sure that everything has received at least 2 audits. And I touched on this a bit a few minutes ago. So our production pipeline, it goes internal testing, audits, then it goes through alpha testing, beta testing before it ever reaches production. And that is super important. Everything is non-custodial. So we are never touching any funds. That is all done. It is all smart contracts, non-custodial. And so the user experience is the users are going to deposit their deposit into a pool that is going to be managed through smart contracts on chain.
Great. And I thought so.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page, and the community got a chance to hear that straight from you. So that's great to hear. I'm really excited for the products that you guys have built, and I hope our community takes the time to jump in and kick the tires and actually use it. So from jumping and going in a totally different direction than the actual product itself, and Vesper in particular, what do you feel like the future of DeFi looks like, and how will Vesper plan to play a role in that future?
I think that we are already really starting to see this with all the work that's being done. I think we're going to see a multi-chain universe. We are seeing so many L2 options already emerging, and it's just a matter of time before we truly become a completely multi-chain universe. There's so much that is already starting to move to these L2 solutions. And this is something that is really going to impact everyone from the fee standpoint. And I know that our users are really excited about what we are doing. And we are starting to actively look at and build on other chains. And I think that it's also just a matter of time before we start to see non-EVM chains start to have a more of a DeFi presence as well. And so I think that's in the very near term. Further out, what I'm excited about is I alluded to earlier that I think that DeFi has so much more potential than traditional finance. And what I mean by that is up until fairly recently, we've seen almost analogous solutions being built on blockchains to what you have in traditional finance. But we are getting to a point where we can start to push those boundaries. And we can start to see what else we can build, what else is possible. And that is because of this composability aspect of DeFi and the fact that you can start to take these Lego bricks, put them together, create bigger Lego bricks, put those together. And we're going to start to build really powerful applications that I don't think that we've even started to unlock yet. I know that for Vesper, one of those that we are really excited about is with Vesper Earn, what we consider to be programmable yield. Right now, we are just starting to see what is possible where up until this point, it's been deposit your crypto, earn in that crypto. But with Vesper Earn, deposit your crypto, earn in another crypto. But what else can you do? And so we are thinking about deposit your crypto, and then the yield can go to funding your favorite charity or funding a project or something completely different. And so I think that the possibilities are truly endless and really excited about what is next in DeFi as far as what else can be built that we haven't even started to imagine yet.
Yeah, it's amazing. I couldn't agree more with you that the future is going to be multi-chain, especially as someone who works for a cryptocurrency exchange that supports the long tail
Yeah.
coin universe, right? And we see all the different tech. I think that's spot on in terms of what's coming. So in terms of the next question, I know that you've answered this, I think, already in many different ways, but just specifically kind of summarizing it all in one answer, I think our community would love to know from your perspective, what are the barriers to entry in DeFi today? And how does Vesper solve them for users?
Yeah, it's funny because in crypto, for as long as I can remember, the biggest barrier to entry has always been accessibility. And it's always been one of those things where it's somebody asks you, a friend asks you, hey, how do I get Bitcoin? Or hey, how do I get some new coin? Uh, and it's never just an easy answer, or it's something that is always more complicated than it needs to be. Um, Finally, at least we've gotten to a place where it's a little easier to at least do the initial crypto onboarding step. Um, but DeFi, we haven't reached that point, and it is still difficult for users to go from the step one of onboarding onto crypto to step two, start engaging with these DeFi applications. And we have tried to make that as simple and easy for users as possible. But that is going to always be one of our number one goals is how can we make this onboarding and accessibility step as simple as possible. And this includes from everything from making an easy, simple UI to starting to bridge those gaps between traditional finance and DeFi, to also even making the process of going from um, your you just got onboarded onto crypto. Now what? Going to starting to engage with DeFi. That to me is probably the biggest hurdle that we need to face, or that we need to overcome in DeFi across the board. And then from there, I think that we just need to, and this is something that I don't think it's necessarily a challenge, but continue to work together. I think that if the more that we see collaboration, the more that we are going to be able to start to overcome a lot of the challenges and start to build out really powerful platforms and applications. I think that we're already doing a good job and just excited about the future there.
So circling back to Vesper for a second and the community, I kind of wanted to dive into a couple of questions there. So the first is around this 5% revenue incentive program you have for developers. I think that's a really interesting model. I don't know that I've come across that before. Can you talk about how those developers are affiliated with Vesper, whether they're internal, external, part of the ecosystem, um, independent, or
Yeah.
and uh, and the success behind the program, and what's the feedback been from those developers?
So that is a 5%. That 5% split is going to go to whoever the developer is who developed that pool. That could be the Vesper Brewing Co., the core team that founded Vesper, or it could be an external developer. And so it really is whoever the developer of the pool is going to earn that share. And we have had a number of teams who have started to say, "Hey, will this strategy work? We really want to look at the pool and get the better idea of the pool structure and start working on strategies." So I know that there are teams currently starting to build out strategies right now for new pools, and these would be uh, new teams that have not previously built out strategies that would be kind of the first externally developed pools.
Well, it sounds like Vesper is a very community-driven platform. I'm really interested to hear actually if there's been enough community engagement on that front for you and the team to list more pools for tokens.
Oh, absolutely. And our community is the heart and soul of Vesper. And we have all the pools that have launched prior or after the February initial launch have been approved and voted on by the community. So there have been a number of grow pools now that were proposed and voted on by the community. So this is um, also something where if the community feels that there is a pool that deserves to be there, should be there, then we encourage them to go to the Discord, say, "Hey, here's why I think that there should be a pool." After a lot of discussion, then we encourage them to go write a Vesper improvement proposal that would then get turned into a vote on that our community would then vote on. If it passes, then that would become the next pool. And this also goes for any other protocol changes as well.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I've got one more question on my list, and I guess you could say it's our final question today. We, as, and I say we, the Bittrex Global community, we've seen tremendous interest towards Vesper Finance. So for those watching in our community, how do we get the word out about the best way to get involved and support the platform? And specifically, do you have any ambassadorship programs or referral programs, and how does that work? And what's the best way to drive interest in Vesper Finance?
Yeah, and as I mentioned, we have a very strong community, and we encourage those interested in joining the community to check out Vesper.finance, and then go to our Discord and join our community of Vespernauts. We do have a global ambassador program. And so if you are interested in that, then please start talking to our community managers, find out more, and we would love to have you become a member of the community. And also, if you would like to find out more information about the ambassador program and apply to that, then we always welcome you to apply to that as well.
And did you call them Vesper Nuts?
Vesper Knots.
Vesper Knots. Got it.
Yes, Vesper Knots.
I was like Vesper Knots. Well, either way, I think it works.
Yeah.
So, all right, Vesper Knots. It's been a pleasure. So, thank you, Jordan, for joining us today in this AMA. I know I've learned a lot, and I hope our community has as well, not just about Vesper Finance, but about DeFi and the VSP token, which you can, of course, find on Bittrex Global. So we're really excited about the partnership and the future for Vesper Finance and the growth of the ecosystem. So if our viewers want to learn more about Vesper Finance, as a reminder, please go to vesper.finance and visit that site and get engaged. So thank you again, Jordan.
Thank you, Chris.